Hello, good evening. Today I am to speak about the reason for delay in the high courts or courts in India. It is very important and a pertinent point that the justice delayed is justice denied. As I am speaking, you may think, what is my background? Actually, I had appeared in many courts, Kerala High Court, Madras High Court, as party in person, and I won the case. I have appeared even in lower courts as party in person. Of course, everywhere I was a complainant against the authorities. But in WPC 28014/22, 2022 of Kerala High Court, I was the respondent number 3. And after winning the case, actually 4 months it took for the respondent number 1 to speak. And after winning the case, just to say he had not received an application or something like that. The whole case was based on the delay in taking a decision on an application which is already given to the Kochi Corporation. But the learned friend took 4 months' time just to say that the application has not been received, even though lot of sittings had been, he had appeared even after that, in between that. So that was a good experience. And that is the first case in the whole world where the contempt of court case had been framed and succeeded on a verdict where it is not mentioned on the aspect pertaining to the contempt for which it was filed. So Justice Purushothaman was a nice person who went deep into the matter behind this case. And in another contempt of court case, which was kept pending, which was cancelled, which was not allowed to be prolonged because of the present case in which already a stay had been given against this respondent. So that became the first case in the history of the world legal service, world court of law in the whole world, that without telling the final verdict in the WPC, the main case, a contempt had been filed and we have won. That happened in Kerala High Court. Then another thing, presently I had appeared 11 times in a court case in which there is no permission for a latrine to be placed in front of my house, that is in front of it is all illegal. But even after 11 appearances, I had to come to Germany. So I handed over to one learned friend advocate, and he had appeared also. Again, it is getting postponed. It happens. That is, these are all experiences which I got. There is WPC 23727 of 2025 in Kerala High Court. I am not telling any bad things or anything which affects the court case. I am telling how we should improve, the whole India should improve. What are the reasons which we have to find out to solve the problem of delay in the court cases? One is, the judge should consider that he is sitting in the seat of truth, but he is not the judge of the truth. He is the judge for the truth and by the truth, to do justice, to do truth, justice, but not king of truth, not the justice of truth. That is the problem. Some judges can consider themselves to be a supporter of some political party, or themselves to be a supporter of some caste in which they belong, or themselves to be a supporter of some people whom they like. So hence the justice cannot be given in truth because partiality occurs. Then number second is that whenever the wrong news had been given, false news or argument had been given purposefully, if it is proved as purposefully, which is evident prima facie itself, it is a wrong news, false news. But still, because of the knowledge of the prominence of the advocate, because of the proximity of the advocate, because of the situations, a stay is given or is allowed to continue. So the case gets prolonged. This is a dangerous situation. So another situation which I had come across is the delay due to inaction by the advocate. In one case, I found that it took 4 months for the advocate to respond that the Kochi Corporation has not received an application. And there is another thing, the judge himself will raise some doubts, again some doubts, even though prima facie we know that something is unauthorized. Even after knowing that it is unauthorized, some doubts will be raised, especially when he had to please or when he fears somebody, opponent, can raise their voice against the judgeship. Sometimes he pleases young advocates. Nowadays I find that young advocates of opposite sex are being sent by the senior advocates instead of senior himself appearing, because he will come only for the main important things. Only the youngsters which are too young, so that the justice may find sympathy or some situation just to please the advocate. So it gets prolonged. I am not telling any complaint against any judge. These people are all human beings, but one should consider the seat which they occupy is above any isms. It is for kindness, truth, and justice. Justice at the sake of what you call godliness or divinity, or full truth. So these are the. Then another thing is that the court itself, when they see that contempt of court case is going against the rulers, they avoid giving a verdict, or they avoid in the main case itself, or they delay the verdict, or they make the contempt of court inactive, not useful. Then I had even found a judgment from the lower court. For whole 1 year, a case had been conducted by me, because 4 police reports on a Cochin Corporation boat stolen had been given. 4 contrary reports, 4 reports contradicting their own police reports, because everything is false. It has been stolen, but they want to prove it is taken by shipyard, Cochin shipyard, then it is taken by the government, Purambok clearance. Then they wanted to say that by the tree it had fallen down. Then through the court, Additional Judicial Magistrate Court, Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Court, it had been ordered, justice will be done. The judge believed, magistrate believed. And they told that that board is still kept there. It had never not been stolen, it is still there. So one advocate commission went, instituted by the same court judge. It proved that it is stolen and lost. So the Honorable Court gave the verdict. It is, whenever it is a private board which is lost, Kochi Corporation cannot do anything. Actually, it is not a private board. Everything, it is very clear. So, to get justice, went to the High Court. High Court finally asked question to the party in person and told that why not you have put an advocate. Everything had been answered, but still the advocate, High Court judge told. The advocate appeared 3 times. Finally, the judge told, whenever a board is taken and kept in some other place, it is the lookout of that authority to see what is to be done. It's not stolen. Stolen had been taken as placed in some other place. So the justice to be done applied for party in person, as party in person, registered in the Supreme Court, applied for the case to be taken. But party in person nowadays should get permission, then only it can be applied. So time went off, passed, the time limit for appeal passed. Then High Court, Supreme Court judge was nice enough to take the case for me, for the party in person. But the Supreme Court judge just smilingly told, after all, it's a matter of board. It is very well written. It is not the mere matter of board. It is the right of a citizen. The wealth of the country is being lost when the opposite party is ruling, and when it is lost, they keep quiet. Whatever is. So the destruction had been done. So this public property, public wealth is lost. It is a citizen's right. But Honorable Judge smiled and told, we won't interfere in the High Court judgment. So thus goes what happened. I mean that there is nobody to question a wrong point, wrong decision of the judge, because the aim of the legal court is to make the people believe that justice will be done, and also to do justice. Justice in the sense, justice. Otherwise it can become, if I explain more, it may be treated as contempt of court. It can be treated as contempt of court. So, then last and final thing I was to say that everything, the whole legal system, giving the stay, thinking that to support the people who are known to them, everything, or delaying tactics without knowing the pain, just allowing the people, instead of answering in 1 week, allowing them 4 months or 6 months to give an answer. And again the judge may ask whether another order had passed. Kindly go and report whether anything else is pending. So again, that is given another 1 month. So this is the reason. Because unless and until the judge knows that they are not the judge of the truth, they are judged for the truth and by the truth and to the truth, but not of the truth. Unless and until they understands it, the legal court, the justice in India will remain like a Damocles sword. If I say something as Partian person, sometimes the advocates get provoked because we are not supposed to. In the whole court, when everybody wears black gown, somebody telling the truth without a gown may not be usually accepted in the court of justice. But I belong to a family where my brother, brother-in-law, nephew, niece, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather were all lawyers. My grandfather was offered judgeship. He said no. My grandfather's first cousin, his 3 juniors were judges of Madras High Court. He was offered judgeship. He said no. Barrister Dr. V.K. John. One of my great-grandfather was a Panchayat judge, but he was only BA, KCE and BA. Like that. Just for information, I am to tell that I am not against the legal group. I am supporting, I belong to that legal family. More than an advocate, I belong to that family. I am not against it. May justice prevail. May truth prevail. Even if the heaven falls. Okay, bye.